right around the edge of these blankets. Not on the blanket, but kind of like me and my friend Henry the Bunny are kind of like right around the blanket. Great. So I guess we can sit on the blanket to start, and then we can move out when the bunny comes out. Yeah. Well, we can sit on or around the blanket for now. Hi, guys. Welcome. I'm so excited to invite you to meet my friend. Hi, everybody.
Is that a
Kind of looks like it, doesn't it? So excited to read with some rabbits. So we're gonna start by reading some stories about rabbits here with our friend Henry the rabbit. Then we're gonna have everybody, after we read our stories, scooch around to the edge of these blankets. Because guess who we're gonna put on these blankets? This guy. So we're gonna let him hop around on the floor in the library, which is pretty silly, but it'll be really fun. So even if you can't see very well right now, don't worry, because we're gonna have a time where we bring him out, we're gonna let him hop around, we'll learn about him, we'll get to know him, we'll even get to pet him. And then we'll end our Reading with Rabbits time with doing a little craft over at these tables. So hello, welcome everybody. My name is Farmer Katie. I work at Landstake Farm. I know some of you have been there before. Nice. We do a lot of cool things at the farm. We have a lot of yummy vegetables. We take care of chickens and baby goats and my favorite, rabbits. This is Henry the rabbit. He is 2 years old. He was born on our farm. And he is probably one of the nicest bunnies you will ever meet. Now, does anyone know anything about rabbits already? Raise your hand if you want to tell me something about rabbits already. Yeah.
I have 2 pets.
Oh, nice. At your house. You already know a lot about it. Nice.
They need lots and lots of space.
Yeah, this is just his traveling cage. He usually has more space than this. This is how he travels around to meet people like you.
I'm sitting down.
Who else knows something about rabbits already?
Me.
Coming in. Yeah, what's something you know? Yeah. You want to tell us? Or you want us to come back to you? You want to tell us something you know about rabbits?
Yes.
Yeah, what do you know?
I like rabbits and stories.
Yeah, that's great. You're in the right place. Who else knows something about rabbits already? Let's see, yeah.
That rabbits. Some people think rabbits have bitey teeth, and some people don't, but they really do.
Yeah, they do have very sharp teeth. Now, luckily, this guy, I've never seen him bite anybody out of anger. They are very sharp, so is it a good idea to put your fingers maybe right by his mouth?
Uh-oh.
He's just hopping around. He would never bite you because he's mean, but if he's like, oh, is that a nice carrot? He might give a little nibble. But we'll talk about that when we bring him out. They do have really sharp teeth to eat things like carrots.
You're going to take him out?
Sure am. Nice. We can talk some more about bunnies and rabbits and everything you guys know. I'm going to read a couple books for Henry to hear, and you guys too. And then we'll get him out and get to know the rabbit. This one is really cute. It's called Rabbits and Raindrops. Have any of you guys seen baby bunnies before? Maybe you've seen them in your yard.
I've seen newborns.
Yeah, and maybe you've seen them as pets. They're really tiny and really cute. Rabbits and Raindrops by Jim Arnowski. So cute.
I just want to ask, does he ever bite you?
We'll talk about it in a little bit.
No.
Mother Rabbit sits by her nest under a hedge at the edge of a green lawn. Maybe you guys have seen a rabbit like that in your lawn. Her 5 babies are ready to climb out of the nest for the first time. Mother Rabbit hops out into the bright sunshine, onto the green grass. One after another, the 5 baby rabbits hop out onto the lawn. They nibble clover blossoms and leaves. They meet grasshoppers, spiders, and bees.
No, I can't.
All of a sudden, the sky turns dark and big, heavy raindrops begin to fall. Now, a rabbit's fur is not waterproof. Baby rabbits can become soaked and catch cold, so Mother Rabbit hurries her babies back under the hedge. From their dry shelter, 5 baby rabbits watch the rain pouring down. Cute little ears. A butterfly flutters in under the hedge and rests on a dry leaf.
Baby sharp teeth,
Soon, others come inside, out of the rain. What else do you see there?
A hummingbird.
Hummingbird.
I can't see anything.
Out in the shower, honeybees buzz by, flying between raindrops to stay dry. Suddenly, the shower ends, and the last few raindrops splatter down. All together, the rabbits hop out onto the lawn. Little feet. To taste the wet grass and play rabbit tag in the sun. And does anyone know what kind of plant that is? This is one of the rabbit's favorite snacks. What do you think?
Yeah.
It looks a lot like a rose. It's the same color. It's not quite a rose, though. Something you might see in the grass. Yeah.
It's a grass like flower.
Yeah, you see it in the grass with these 3 leaves, and that flower is called a clover flower. And the clover leaves, I love that. Now, I did even bring some snacks today for Henry to eat, but I didn't bring him any clover.
Yeah. I know it like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's called whistle. Thistle because it's like pointy.
Oh, like a thistle? Yeah. So, I think because we have so many of us and we all want to meet the rabbit, do you guys think we should read another book or maybe take the rabbit out and then read a book after that? Are you guys ready to meet the bunny?
Yeah.
I think we should. So, what we're going to do before I take Henry out is we're all going to want to sit. All the kids are going to want to sit in a circle around the edge of these blankets. You're going to be like a kid fence holding the rabbit inside the circle.
I hope he doesn't scratch.
We just pet him. He's very nice. Look at that bunny. So everybody come sit on the edge, and you can sit knee to knee. Now, if there's not space, we can scoot back a little, and I can make this a little bit bigger. What do you think? Should we make it a little bit bigger? What do you think? Everybody sits crisscross applesauce, like a lot of you guys are. And if you're sitting knee to knee, so that your knee is touching your neighbor's knee, then it'll be like a fence that holds this bunny in, so he won't hop all over the library.
And then I'll have to catch him. As long as those doors are closed, it's fine.
Come right up to the edge of the blanket here. Can everyone fit? There we go. Nice job. Now, how many of you have touched a rabbit before? What do you think he might feel like?
It's so fluffy.
Oh, I don't know who's with us. Who's with us? So it's very important when I bring Henry out that we all stay sitting down. Because if we stand up, it's probably going to be pretty scary for the bunny if we're really far above him. Also, I've seen people almost kick or step on a rabbit, which could be really tough. It's very, very fast.
I've accidentally kicked a rabbit.
Oh yeah, and that would be no good. Now, rabbits have really big something, which means that they can hear really well. They got really big ears, so they can hear really well. So do you think we should have really loud voices or really quiet voices?
Really quiet.
Because he hears everything really well, so if we're all yelling, that's going to be really loud for his big ears and a little bit scary. I'm going to bring him out. I'm going to let him hop around. He might hop right over to you to say hi. Now, if he does, don't worry. He's very nice. He won't bite. He won't scratch. But we shouldn't pick him up. It's a little scary for rabbits to get picked up. Also, he does have very sharp claws. Now, he's never going to scratch you like maybe a cat would, but if you picked him up and he got scared, he might kick, and that way you could scratch.
Little bunnies do that too.
Yeah, little bunnies too.
Can I tell you something?
In a moment, yeah, I'll take some questions. Thanks.
But I picked up a baby bunny.
Nice. So we won't pick him up, but if he comes up to you, you can pet him. Now we're going to stay really quiet because while he hops around, we're going to kind of take questions and stories about the rabbit, and I'll tell you a little bit more about him. Now, if you think it's a little scary to see him hopping around, you can come out of the circle and then come back in if you want. He's a very, very nice bunny. Anyone have any questions about how to act around the bunny before I bring him out?
What if he gets mad?
I have never seen this bunny get mad. He is one of the nicest rabbits I've ever met. And he's been around kids since the day he was born. Trouble's going to be getting him out of this.
He was born.
Big. He's got these really big feet. He's really good at hopping. This is Henry. What are some things you notice about Henry? Some things are the same as any rabbit you might see, and some are a little bit different. Sure, we touch him. We'll touch him really gently. You can touch his ear. You can touch his back. He's coming to say hi. What do you guys notice? What's kind of something you might notice about any bunny? What's something about them? We talked about their really big ears. Really big ears that can hear really well. What else?
You know, most bunnies like go really fast, but this bunny is very like he's going slow.
He's going real slow right now. He's checking you guys out. He's seeing if you guys are safe. You must feel really safe over here. These guys are being really quiet and still.
Don't touch his feet.
Now, don't worry. If he doesn't come visit you, I'll make sure I bring him around at the end so everybody can pet him. Yeah, bunnies can move really fast, is what you were saying. But this guy's moving slow right now. He's just kind of checking out the situation, kind of seeing what's going on. Anyone see his back legs? I love the way he hops. He's got really big back feet, smaller front feet. Yeah, you can even see the bottom of his feet are kind of a different color. Why do you think that might be? Yeah, he loves to hop around in the dirt. And one of his favorite things to do is to dig.
Don't.
Yeah, so we'll make sure that we stay in our spot. Don't worry, everybody will get a chance to see him.
Nobody had a chance, man.
Now, what do you notice about his eyes?
They're red.
Yeah. Have you ever seen an animal with red eyes before?
No.
Some people think that it looks scary. They say, why does he have red eyes? But it's not because he's scary. It's actually because he's a kind of animal called an albino animal. That's a good question. Now, any animal can be an albino, and that means he actually doesn't have any color in his fur or in his eyes. So like you guys have a color of eyes, maybe you have brown eyes or blue eyes or green eyes or gray eyes. He doesn't have any of those colors in his eyes. So does anyone know what the red is that you see in there? Why do you see red if he doesn't have any color in his eyes?
I don't know.
Because your eyes can't be white.
You actually are seeing something that's inside his body. Because there's no color in his eyes covering it up, you actually can see his blood in his eyes. Now don't worry, he's not bleeding. He's okay. It's inside just like it's supposed to be. If we didn't have color in our eyes, if I didn't have green eyes, you would see the blood in my eyes too. So it's a little interesting why he has those red eyes, but he's perfectly healthy. He's supposed to have them. And because he doesn't have any color in his eyes or his fur, that's why he looks white. He doesn't have any other color.
They're on the way.
Guys, I'm gonna bring him over to this corner. Just say hi. Hi, and he's a really big bunny. We have a few different sizes of bunnies at our farm, and he's one of the biggest ones.
Is he like the only big one or something?
We have another big one who's orange named Harry, who's actually his uncle. Now, Henry's
favorite color. But how is my favorite color? But how do you tell who's his uncle?
So it was Henry's mother's brother is still on our farm. We don't have the mother anymore, but she was white with black spots, and she actually had babies that were orange and brown and white and black and gray and all colors, and he happened to be an albino.
What happened to the mother?
She's not at our farm.
Baby.
But we do still have
go.
Yeah, we do adopt bunnies out. We didn't let her go into the wild. But we do adopt bunnies out. Hopefully have some babies in the spring if anyone thinks they might want some bunnies at home. Or you can always come visit our rabbits at our farm too. So let's have everyone scoot back to our spots on our row. And if you have any questions, raise your hand. Good question. My farm is Land Safe Farm. So does anyone know why they have really big ears? They have it so they can hear really well. Why would they want to hear though? Why would a bunny want to hear really well?
Because they're prey to a lot bigger animals.
Can you guys think of any kind of animal that might like to eat a bunny? Yeah, a hawk would love to eat a bunny. I've even seen a hawk sitting on top of his cage, but luckily he has a really safe cage. So he went in the safe part of it and hawk didn't. Definitely interested though. Yeah. Don't think a deer would eat the bunny. which is good news because I see a lot of deer around our farm. Good guess. That's a big animal. Yeah.
Coyote.
Oh, a coyote would love to eat this rabbit for dinner. Absolutely. Coyotes, hawks.
Fox.
Yes, that's another big one that comes around our farm, sniffing around at our chickens and rabbits, but they stay safe. Yeah.
Crocodiles.
In other places, yes. Luckily, we don't have any crocodiles on our farm that I know of, but in other places, probably, yes.
Dogs.
Yeah, that's a real thing. People can bring dogs to our farm, which is great, but that's why we make sure our rabbits and our chickens are in really safe cages. Because you never know with the dog. They might be super nice, but love eating rabbits. That's how sometimes.
I want to ask a question. How did he hide? Where is the safe spot in his cage?
In this one here?
Yeah.
So this one, if he's in this cage, he's always going to be with me or one of the farmers. If he's in this cage, that means he's traveling around. So a predator hopefully won't get him while he's hanging out in the library with me.
And another thing is really when you soft and like they never
Yeah, just like in that book we just read, rabbits actually really don't like to get wet. When it's raining, they go in the part of their cage that's not open like this. They go in the covered part. They don't like getting wet. They can't really dry off very well, and they could get really cold. So if everyone scoot back to their spots, and I'll bring the bunny over here. That's a nice bunny. Exactly. A lot of things would want to eat these bunnies. The bunnies have these really big ears
Come here.
so they can hear really well if something's coming to try to eat them.
Or prey's coming.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they can hear them.
Bunnies don't eat other animals except for insects.
They also use their ears for something, especially in the summertime. And imagine how hot it was this summer. If you were a bunny with all of this fur, how hot it would be. Their ears actually help with that too.
And they fan them.
It's not quite fanning, but it is having to do with cooling off. Yes. What they do is they hold their ears up like this, and the wind comes, and it cools down their ears, and then it cools down the rest of their body too. Kind of like an air conditioning unit getting the air through their ears.
Can I touch his tail? Can I touch his tail?
He likes his tail touch. Thank you for asking, but he does like his tail. So because bunnies can't sweat like we do when we're hot, and what does a dog do when they're hot?
Pants.
Yeah, they're... Well, the bunny doesn't really pant to cool themselves off, so it's really important that they have those ears. Yeah.
How much does the bunny weigh?
That is such a good question. I actually don't know. I know his mother weighed about 9 or 10 pounds. He was about the same size. So he's a pretty big rabbit.
He might, I can tell you something. He might be like the same amount or 10.
Yeah, he is really big, and I've actually never weighed him, so I don't know.
You could weigh him next time. For the next time you come, you could weigh him.
I know, I should find a bunny.
Excuse me. Please don't touch her again.
Did you guys get to see the bunny over here?
Sorry.
Come here. Okay. He hasn't got the bunny yet. Maybe he can wiggle in here by you or
Yeah, we
something.
can with it. And don't worry, at the end I'll bring him around and everybody will get to pet him. I know we've got a lot of people in here.
Going up there, honey. Going up there. There's
Anyone
space
notice
for you.
his little nose? What's his nose doing?
Sniffing.
Always sniffing. That little nose never stops. You guys wiggle your nose like a bunny?
As well.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do.
It's easy but nice.
Always sniffing. Why do you think he's sniffing?
To smell.
Yeah, why do you think he wants to smell? What's he trying to see what's out there? For a couple reasons, probably.
To find his food.
Yeah, they're always hungry, these bunnies. Probably to find food and also probably to avoid being food for something else. It's like, are there any coyotes out there? Are there any coyotes? No? Now, what do rabbits like to eat? You were talking about how they're always sniffing to try to find food. There's a lot of things they really like. Yeah. They love carrots. But carrots are actually kind of like a dessert, like a special sometimes food for rabbits. Because even though they don't seem really sugary for us, for a rabbit, a carrot is like eating a piece of cake. So sometimes people want to give rabbits a whole bunch of carrots and it might make their tummy a little sick. But does anyone know what grows on top of the orange part of the carrot? guys seen? Yeah, and those are really good for the bunny. Luckily, I actually got some today from our garden. Now these carrots aren't full grown yet. They're little teeny tiny carrots that we've been growing in our kids' garden. But the greens are really good for the bunny. So I'm actually going to come around and give you all a little leaf and see if he wants to eat it. If you stay where you are, he might come over. And give a little hello. There we go. A little, sorry. He's going to come around, give him lots of leaves.
Hold it out, maybe the bunny will come.
Hey, we've got some more here. I'll make sure.
I'll see if the bunny will see. Hold it right out.
You guys take one and pass it around. Might be a little dirty if it's been on our farm.
Thank you.
We'll have one back to you. Oh, he's loving that cake. You can see his really strong teeth.
Look at him eating it.
For the leaves,
Look at him eating it.
everybody has one, then it's okay if we. You guys want some too?
Look at him eating. He's really hungry.
And then if you guys stay back in your spot, you can come around and say hi. And again, I'll bring him around. I'll bring him around to let you pet him. Oh, he loves carrot leaves. He actually loves almost any kind of leaf. He likes clover leaves, like the one we saw in that book. He really loves grass. He eats a lot of grass and hay. Did anybody notice what he has in here to eat?
Hay.
A little bit of hay?
Hay is kind of like in bed too.
Yeah, this is hay. And does anyone see what's in that bowl?
Bunny food.
Yeah, just like if you have a dog or cat, you might buy some food for them at the pet store. We buy bunny food at the pet store too, but we make sure he eats a lot of fresh greens.
And value leaf.
Stay back in our spot, because otherwise it might be a little scary for the bunny. So we'll make sure we stay back at our spot.
think he likes
If everyone's crowding him, it might be a little scary. We'll let him come to you instead of you putting it in his face. He'll come over and he smells it.
Hold it out, Tristan. Hold it out. Hold it right out with your hand, like this. Go like this. Go like this.
Oh, he is loving these carrot leaves. Look at him. Nom, 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 nom. There you go. Now, does anyone know where rabbits live when they live in the wild? Now, this kind of rabbit really wouldn't live in the wild. This is a kind of rabbit that's a pet rabbit. But where would they live if they were out in the wild? What do you think?
The wood.
Put the leaves.
Where in the woods do you think they like to go to build their home? Do they like climb up the trees like the squirrels? No, what do you think?
Under the tree.
They love to dig. They will dig all day if they can. That's why the cages we have for them outside actually have to have some metal on the bottom, some mesh, because we found out the hard way we didn't have that on the bottom, and one of our bunnies just dug his way out. Now luckily we found him and put him back in, but they'll just dig holes all day, and they can dig right out of their cages if they want.
Like when you put those
Look at him. He doesn't like the carrots.
We make sure we stay
Yeah,
back
he
in our
doesn't like
spots
the carrots.
here.
He just likes the leaves.
He likes those leaves. Just wait till everybody comes back to their spot. Otherwise, we're crowding him. But if you sit right where you are and kind of hold this out like this, he'll come say hi to you. You come on over to your spot over here. Have all this space. I'll bring him back here. Let's see if anyone's gonna go back there first, okay? Remember, we stay back in our spot, so if you pull it out, he'll come to you. It's a little scary if you put it right in his face. You can imagine if someone had food for you and they put it right here, you might be kind of off. But if somebody held it out, you would come and get it. Yeah, we don't want to put it right in his face. Yeah, if you stay right where you are. Yeah, see, he's a little scared when people are putting him in his face. But if you keep your hand like this, come to you. He knows all this yummy food is out there.
Oh, look, he's eating yours.
Now, I try not to give him people food. We grow a lot of really good vegetables at our farm, but you know, we spend so much time, and there's so many people that need really good healthy food, but things like carrot greens that people don't usually eat are perfect for a rabbit. Sometimes I'll give him maybe like some tomatoes that have split open that people might not want to buy, but he likes to eat them. So he does get a lot of treats. You maybe some spinach that has too many holes in it. Spaghetti, yeah, he might try to, but it wouldn't be very good for his tummy.
You think the bunny would like spaghetti?
So let's make sure we're back on the edge of the rug and not in the middle. So he can keep hopping around to say hi, everyone.
And bunnies are allowed to eat them.
Are allowed to eat the cows?
No.
Carrots,
But not too much.
That's so true.
They're too
So
sweetie for them
I
to
left
eat
the
them.
really big carrots for the people. You're right. Sometimes I'll pick the big carrots and I'll eat the orange part, and then I'll give the bunny the green part. So it's kind of perfect. That's right. Share that with him.
But you have to clean the seed.
Let's make sure we stay back so we're not.
I know you gotta feed him, yeah. Have you gotta feed him?
Callan, if you want to grab one of those leaves out there, I might still want to eat it.
He ate the leaf was gone.
Over there,
Yeah,
You might go grab one.
Oh, and it's
You guys have done such a great job being so still and quiet and patient. So I'm going to come bring Henry around, and if you want, you can give him a little pet. You can try to feed him. Sometimes when I'm holding him, he doesn't like to eat as much because he's a little bit distracted. I can try. You didn't get to feed him. I'm sorry, but I'll make sure everybody gets to pet him. I'm a quick pet. I'll come around. I like your
Lucy.
Let's see if he eats the whole can. I've already done.
Lucy. Lucy.
But other people. Maybe he didn't have any food before that time. That's why he thought that was too late.
Make sure we scoop back up.
Just
No, do you see this line on the cat?
He's been a hot bunny these past few weeks. I can come around the edge of the circle too. No one's making a little one.
Go on the edge. Go on the edge.
Yeah,
See, it's working, right?
I think I'll come around the inside and I'll come around the outside of the circle too, and not everyone.
Caroline, he doesn't
No,
want
but
to.
still, it's fun
And a very impatient. She's gonna be the bunny.
If you turn around, she's gonna let you pet it. See all the kids pet it.
Don't you want them down? Try to feel once we get them back.
You get up there, you'll be able to pet it.
Thanks for waiting so patiently, guys. You want to give him a pet?
There's so much here.
He's so much hair.
But he's
And I'll bring him around here real quick.
Hey, Danny. That's so soft.
Okay. You guys are
Okay, let's go make that
you in there.
Okay.
Here you go, baby.